In order to perform a calibration, ensure that you have the calibration manifold attached to the perfusion pump and a sphygmomanometer that can generate a stable 80 mm of mercury pressure. Click on the Calibrate for Manometry button on the main screen. This will take you to the calibration screen. The information at the bottom of the screen provides basic information about the recording catheter and calibration. Defaults for this can be set in the Calibration Defaults screen from the main menu. The channels display at the bottom allows you to enter text that you can associate with the recorded channels if you wish. The channels to record control determines which channels will be saved to the file. Normally all of these channels would be on, that is, green. The date and time control indicates the current date and time, and the protocol control is the name of the calibration protocol, which would not normally need to be changed. Clicking on Clear Data clears all of these controls, but would rarely be used. Once you have checked the information below, click on the flashing Accept Data button to proceed. To exit, click on the Cancel button at any time. After you click on Accept New Data, two new lines of buttons will appear. The line with the yellow background indicates the channels that will be calibrated on this round of calibration. Normally with manometry, all channels will be calibrated together, and you can click on the yellow All On button. The buttons below, marked Channels Calibrated, are only used when you're doing a calibration in multiple rounds, if, for example, you are calibrating only 4 channels at a time. When you turn the channels to calibrate on, the current voltage input from the preamplifier is displayed in the graph at the top. The black bars should move up and down when you apply pressure to the calibration manifold, and this can be a useful screen to check during troubleshooting if you suspect a problem with the recording system. The two values that will be used for calibration are shown in the number boxes. Usually these are 0, which corresponds to atmospheric pressure, and 80 mm of mercury, but you can adjust these if required. Ensure that the calibration manifold is open to atmosphere and click on value 1, which is flashing. This will set the initial value for the pressure calibration at 0 mm of mercury. Apply 80 mm of mercury to the calibration manifold. New yellow bars should appear and should all arise above the black bars when you do this. There will be some variability to the amount they rise, but they should at least be similar. Click on value 2 to set the second calibration point at 80 mm of mercury. After you've clicked on value 2, you'll see this screen that asks if you have finished calibrating. If you have, click Yes. Otherwise, click No and you will return to the calibration screen where you can select further channels and perform another calibration. If you calibrate channels that are not being recorded, or record from channels that have not been calibrated, you will see error messages. You are now offered to save the calibration file or leave without saving. Click on Save Calibration File. You'll then return to the main menu. In order to view calibration data, click on the View Calibration Data button. Select the file that you wish to view, click OK, and a screen showing the calibration data will appear. This shows the channels to be recorded, the values that the computer used to convert the raw voltage data to pressure, any pressure offsets if the calibration file has been used, the values and voltages that were used in the calibration process, as well as where the calibration file is located. You can't change anything on this screen. Click on Stop to return to the main menu.